Tuning in on your TVs today, and welcome to our broadcast of Bible teachings that I'm saying you don't hear what we're teaching much any place. Anyway, if you do, let me know, and I'd like to hear some of it myself. But nevertheless, we are saying this to you today, how important it is that you might get your mind sober enough, how important it is to know these end-time teaching, and who formed them. God planned these things, predestinated these things, the beginning from the end, and the ending he declares from the beginning. So he's the Lord and the only one that can do these things. He said, I'm the Lord and I'm the one that does them. Now, as we look again to my board just a moment, and we look at this one thing I want to go to again, God's will in all that are created. Now, whether it be the wicked or whether it be the good. Now, we've showed these other things to you, and Ishmael the wild man will enter into his territory some here in our next teachings, I think. And so we are going to talk to you a little bit. Our first Bible reading for you today is found in Proverbs 16, and we're going to kind of cut this short, verse 4. I want your minds to go to this area of teaching. Into the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 4. As we read these things to you, I'd like for you to look in your Bibles at Proverbs chapter 16, verse 4. The Lord has made all things for himself. That's a great statement made there. The Lord has made all things for himself. Now, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. Yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. Now he puts an emphasis on that. He's made all things for himself. Yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. So I planned all this. I wanted these things to happen in the earth. I wanted things to grow up where man would see the bad things and man would get to see the good things. I'm going to give wisdom to man. When God gets through this plan, there's going to be some wisdom and knowledge and understanding come out. Knowledge is going to cover the earth as waters cover the sea. Those things are going to happen. Now I'm going to look at another scripture that goes right along with it. Revelation chapter 4, and reading from verse 10, the 4 and 20 elders, we'll read that to you. Revelation chapter 4, verse 10. The 4 and 20 elders fall down before him that sat on the throne and worship him that liveth forever and ever. That's God, and cast their crowns before the throne, saying, verse 11 of Revelation 4, Thou art worthy, O Lord, to receive glory and honor on whatever you've done, and power, to receive glory and honor and power. For thy, the reason he's worthy to create, reason he's worthy to receive glory and honor and power, because he created everything. So they saying to him, Thou art worthy, O Lord, to receive glory. He gets all the glory, all the honor, and the power is his. Because what? For thou hast created all things. For thou hast created all things. That's reading you to get the glory, the honor, and the power. You did everything. For you created all things. For thou hast created all things, and for thy pleasure, and for God's pleasure, for thy pleasure, they are and were created. It was God's pleasure to create them, whether they're bad or whether they're good. That's his pleasure. He's going to call them to battle, the bad ones, one day, and show who wins the decision. So who's the strong one. So he's going to get the glory. He got all this set. All these things are there, and he's going to get all the glory one day. All right. Now let's go into our next Bible reading, Revelation chapter 5, as we look here to these teachings. verse 1 of chapter 5 of Revelation. And I saw in the right hand of him that sat on the throne a book written within and on the backside, sealed with 7 seals. I see a book in the hand of him that sits on the throne, and it's sealed. And it says it's written on the backside, on the front and on the backside, but it's sealed. Now, if you seal something, you put your seal on it, and it's sealed, and you can't nobody open it unless somebody gets worthy to open it. If God seals it, who can open it? The scripture goes on to say that nobody was found worthy to open the book, or go up and take the book out of the hand of God and open the seals. And so John began to weep because nobody was found worthy. Then he saw a lamb standing in the midst of the throne of God, midst of the 4 beasts, 24 elders. And he saw a lamb as is slain. And they said, one of the beasts, I think, said to him, behold, the lamb is worthy to go and take the book. And so he does take the book out of the hand of God because he's able to take it. And inside that book, God has got some things we've been reading about. And that goes on in, these are revelations to the church now. And the seals are to be opened for the church to hear them. See what's in them. Like the rest of prophecy. They're put in there that we might learn and be wiser. That stability and that wisdom is going to help us stand when things get bad. We know that God planned it, but he's not going to leave us. He'll be with us always, even to the end of the world. I'll never leave you. I'll never forsake you, Lord, with you always, even to the end of the world. So we have a confidence that he said that, no matter what happened, but he's going to show us what's going to happen. So we'll have knowledge and understanding, and maybe we can tell somebody else. But you got to know something if you tell somebody else, don't you? Some preachers, I don't think they know too much. I'm not throwing off on them because I don't hear too much out of some of them. But I'll tell you, we need to hear it in the last day. We're teaching this on TV here to you people, and hopefully that you'll get more knowledge than you've ever had before. Now, so he said, he saw a book written in his hand. So we just kind of narrated some of it down for you. It was one of the elders. We'll drop down to verse 4 where John is weeping about it. And I wept much because no one man was found worthy to open and to read the book, neither to look thereon. And one of the elders saith unto me, weep not. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah. He's the Lion of the tribe of Judah, which is going to get his enemies in the nape of the neck at the end of the ages when he comes back to the earth. The root of David, he's the root of David, hath prevailed to open the book and to loose the 7 seals thereof. He's going to loose those 7 seals thereof. Now, I'm going to jump over here to the 6th chapter of Revelation. And we're going to look here at verse 1 and 2 of the 6th chapter of Revelation and see if it goes along with what we're teaching on the Antichrist, teachings we've been teaching to you prior to now. And we said to you that the Lord created the wicked for the day of evil. Read that to you. And this is his pleasure of all these things. Now this book is in God's hand. It's got seals on it. That means he knows God that got the book, that sealed it, is the Father. He knows what he wants done. And he sealed it to happen, whether it be bad or good. So then we have to look to the seals and see if they go along with what we've been teaching on the wicked growing up to harvest and the battle coming of Armageddon, and also the battle there where of Jehoshaphat battle, where the wine press is trodden outside the city. All those things happening at a time. Now, verse 1 of chapter 6 of the book of Revelation. And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals. Now I saw the Lamb, which is Jesus. He was worthy to take the book out of the Father's hand, and now he's going to open the seals, the Lamb. Because things is going to happen, and he's going to perform things, and he's going to reap. He's got a sickle in his hand. We saw already. It's kind of something we jumped over this to get to that other sickle time in 14th chapter of Revelation. Now, verse 1 of 6th chapter of Revelation, if we can get this together for you. And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard, as it were, the noise of thunder. One of the four beasts saying, "Come and see." And I heard a noise, one of the four beasts heard a noise like thunder. And he said, "Come and see." One of the beasts said. There's four beasts around the throne. There's God with the book in his hand. Jesus take the book out. He's the Lamb that died for the people, and he's worthy to take the book. Now he's going to open the seals and tell the church what's in those seals. Like he's been telling in these other prophecies about the wicked created for the day of evil, which we've been trying to put into you and let you all know that God created everything, declaring the end from the beginning. So we want you to know that he knew, and he had the sealed for that end time. And so he began to see this seal opened, one of the seals. Verse 2. And John said, and I saw. John said, I saw the seal opened. And behold, a white horse. Now when he opened the seal, John said, I saw a white horse. That's what John said he saw. A white horse. Before I go any further, we'll just talk on horse and white horse a minute. Horse represents battle. The Lord's coming back on a white horse. His armies followed him up on white horses, right? But this is a different white horse, which this seal is going to tell us. Now, God has created, and we look to our board, just a minute. Look up here to Ishmael, a wild man. And that comes out of the Arab territory of Iraq and Iran and all those different countries, Beirut, Jordan, all those areas around there where these Arabian people live. They've been under, they come out of the descendant of Ishmael. And under the Ishmael descendants, those people, although they wild people, and all those, Ishmael was a wild man, mean that you couldn't conquer him, or he hadn't been conquered. He's just a man of his own and full of trouble. Now all of his people that come of his seed, they get this same wild nature. So they do have a religion among them over there. And I say to you today, they got a religion called Islam or Muslim. Muhammad started as a prophet, and they all are in this religion, and this war and the fighting over there is around this religion. And the religion has these mosques and all these things, and they gather in their different segments of this religion, fight each other sometime. But anyway, this is where this white horse goes. Let's look at the white horse just a minute. Now he said he saw a white horse. And let's look at it. Verse 2, and I saw, behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow. Bow is something you use for war or to shoot arrows through, a bow of battle. And a crown was given unto him. He had a crown to rule during that time or to conquer in that time that he's created to do this. And God created all this wicked for the day of evil. So this white horse represents a religion. White represents something, represents religion, although it can be a bad religion. It's got the image of supposed to be good, but it's bad. It's got a bow. He's got a bow in his hand, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. And what do these people do over there? They go to forth to conquer and conquer. They're trying to conquer people. They want to conquer Israel too. They want to bring everybody under that domain. And there's going to be a beast rule come out of it too. And all that where you can't buy or sell unless you take the mark of the beast. But this is a white horse now. This is a religion. I would call it the Muslim religion, acting like and that is something, but it tries to conquer people by force. It don't preach a gospel of salvation, but it fights. And they fight. Those that's in that religion, they fight. Terrorists come out of that religion. Things come out of that religion for fighting and for conquering and bringing things their way. And it's like from the wild generation of Ishmael, they are just unconquerable. They want to conquer others. And so this is the white horse that we're telling you about that God sees in one of the seals that Jesus opened for the church. Now, you're going to see a religion be the thing that's going to try to impress people that they got a good religion. But the religion is a religion that conquers and fights. And the seal tells us he gets sent forth to conquer and to conquer. And God sees what it is before he comes to pass. God looking down at the end of time, what's in one of the seals. That's the reason I want to tell you, he created the wicked for the day of evil. We've been harping on these things, leading up to these seals and things. Now, these things are very important that we understand that God created them. It's in his hand, so Jesus has to get the book to open to find out what's God's plan. So God's plan for this type of people to be in the earth. And he opens the first seal and he sees them. A white horse. A religion. Now we find out in the beast rule, also, one of the beasts that rose out of the earth, he had two horns, one like a lamb and like a dragon. The lamb nature was the church nature. He kind of like a lamb, like this white horse. He's the white horse representing fighting for the good. Supposed to be. But he's fighting to conquer, and he's bad. He's a bad religion. Oh, Brother James, wow. But anyway, these things is what's in the Bible. This is what it's telling us. You want to know what God wrote these things. He told John to take these things, open the seals, take it to the church. Let the church hear. The church is supposed to hear what this is about. Instead of saying, oh, I wonder what the world's coming to, why don't they go to the seals? Why don't they go and read that God created the wicked for the day of evil? Why don't they learn about all these things that God has made? And Jesus is one that's worthy to open the seals and let the church know what's going to happen. I think the church needs to know what's going to happen. Things are happening all around us now. If the church is ever going to learn, they better learn pretty fast. Because these things are happening pretty fast. We're in a day of things really rolling along right now. We needed this ahead of this as far as that goes, but the Lord knows what you need. So he said, I saw and behold a white horse, verse 2 of Revelation 6, and he that sat on him had a bow. It represents a religion, and a crown was given unto him. He received glory as a crown, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. Now, we're going to leave that other seal alone right there and go with this first one in just a minute. Now, I want to read back with you. I want you to go back with me to some readings that we have. I'd like to go back to Daniel chapter 11 as we go back to some things that we have already taught on with you. Daniel chapter 11. We'd like to go back to these scriptures and see if they go along with what we're talking about here. Daniel 11, We're going to read from verse 21. We're going to kind of glean some of this 11th chapter as we teach from it, comparing it with the white horse in Revelation, and the one on the white horse that goes forth conquering and to conquer. Now, in the 11th chapter of Daniel, chapter 21, we're going to kind of narrate some of these things, glean out the most highlights of them, and we're going to read from them. Now, this talks about a wicked king coming into power, and he's also in a religious country with this type of kingship that he has. Verse 21 of Daniel 11. And in his estate, talking about the wicked king that comes into power, shall stand up a vile person. A vile person shall stand up in this area of Iraq and Iran, and those areas over there, and within the Muslim religion. And a vile person shall stand up, a vile person, to whom they shall not give the honor of the kingdom, but he shall come in peaceably. Now it looks like that white horse, peaceably, and obtain the kingdom by flatteries. Now, he's going to come in peaceably and win the kingdom by flatteries. Now, he fits the description of this white horse in this peaceable type of attitude, a religious type of attitude. A religion can be a bad religion, but the Lord can let it ordain it and let it be, that it might do His will. And some people will follow religion more than they will anything else. And to get people to blow themselves up, I think it'd take a religion to get them to do it more than just some natural country. Not just Iraq or Saddam Hussein, but I think it'd take something greater behind it to get them to do more of the acts that they do. So these are things that God ordained. He knows how to get people moving, how to get things to happening. Just some thoughts we're throwing at you. How's our time element? Okay. All right. Now we read that 21st verse to you. And I'm going to read verse 22. And with the arms of a flood shall they be overthrown from before him, and he shall be broken, yea, also the prince of the covenant. Verse 23. And after the league made with him, he shall work deceitfully, for he shall come up and shall become strong with a small people. Now he's going to do that. He shall enter peaceably upon the fattest places of the province, and he shall do that which his fathers have not done, nor his fathers' fathers. He shall scatter among them the prey, the spoil, and riches, yea, he shall forecast his devices against the strongholds, even for a time. Now, he speaks of these things. Now, verse 35, reading, skipping over into the, and some of them of understanding shall fall, meaning the Jew that has understanding, the remnant, especially the remnant around Israel, is where my mind goes to. And so, of course, some of our minds would go to all the saints. But I do believe it's more to the remnant that comes through under this condition. Verse 35, and some of them of understanding shall fall to try them, and to purge, and to make them white, even to the time of the end. And this is happening around Jerusalem to cause them that's in that area, my opinion, to come under this type of purging and this type of thing. Because even to the time of the end, because yet for a time appointed. And God appoints the times and bounds of the times. So we've learned that much. Now we read verse 36. And the king shall do according to his will. And he shall exalt himself. and magnify himself above every god. And he magnifies himself above every god. And shall speak marvelous things against the God of gods, against Israel's God, against the saints' God. He's going to speak marvelous things, great things against the God of gods, shall prosper till the indignation be accomplished, but that is determined shall be done. Now, the indignation of God, which is anger toward Israel, of making Jerusalem desolate, and these countries are ready to come against Israel, and we know that, these Arab countries, to make them desolate. So things are going to happen there. But there is something that worked among them people, and they followed with that white horse. And he goes for conquering and to conquer, a religious type thing. But we're reading these verses. Now, verse 38. This is what he does. But in his estate shall he honor the God of forces. And that's what this white horse one is. He's got a bow in his hand to go forth and conquer. And so they're together on this. Could a religion and this evil king be together and yet perform the same things? Yes, they could. They could be in them to do these things, but yet the king wants to do something for his own glory. But this religion is still prevalent. It's still prevalent among them, and all the people. There's going to be some things happening over there, and they're going to see all kind of trouble. So he, verse 38 says, but in his estate shall he honor the God of forces. That's that last Antichrist kingdom of the beast root. And God whom his fathers knew not shall he honor with gold and silver and with precious stones and pleasant things. So all these riches is going to be gathered together to this type of kingdom over there among these people. Verse 39, they got oil riches over there. We know they got oil riches, and we know a lot of things they got that make money off of in that country over there. Verse 39, thus shall he do in the most strongholds with a strange God. Yeah, that's a strange God, whom he shall acknowledge and increase with glory. And he shall cause them to rule over many. Our time is about caught up with us. So we see we'll have to end on this white horse and that seal matching up with what's going to happen over there around Iraq. Until next time, may God give you understanding of what we're teaching. We also have our services at 5 o'clock down here off of Thatch Loop Road if you ever come this way. Thank you for tuning in today.